Hey, what's up, everybody? This episode is going to be about a fun exercise, which will be about style. The main objective is to find practical ways to get creative with your psyche, thoughts, and emotions to the point of communicating with the outside world, which is often pretty hard for spiritual people to do because they go on this inner journey of researching their points of creativity, researching their points of identity, researching their points of existential power and everything. So it's a really introvert job often to work with spirituality, but I suggest we get more extroverted and work with what we can communicate to the outside world. So the first main pointer I want to give you is that the amount of conveyed information between one another doesn't necessarily matter at first, as long as you operate on some elevated level of recognition. A common practice is to get yourself satisfied and in a happy place, and then worry about your communication with others. This is something I got from Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham Hicks, and she is all about getting yourself satisfied and in a happy place and then worry about communication with others. That's something I suggest as well in this exercise. In other words, I would phrase this as a priority must be to get yourself stable, content, and alert so you can read your inputs and outputs correctly. Also, it would be nice if you could dictate your style as a form of abundance so it's easier for others to interact with. That's another pointer they like to work with is uh, um, abundance. So they believe in abundance, and I believe in the shortcut to freedom, which is to realize that having a present form of life isn't so uncommon. Like, it's actually pretty normal for us to be alive right now and to have a continued form of existence, actually. So even when we die, we probably reincarnate as something else in some sort of way if we stress this enough. Like, if you believe in some sort of God, then it's realistic to stress that having a present form of life isn't so uncommon, and this you need to kind of balance out and respect in some way with your God entity to kind of establish a vision and creative uh, identity or creative point of view where you can guarantee you will be in a better place when you die. For example, you will actually reincarnate, for example. But that's all gone too far. Like, the shortcut to freedom is just to realize that having a present form of life isn't so uncommon, and this will raise your frequency to the level of ultimate freedom and creativity. And in this exercise, we need both, but we need creativity more than freedom, I'd say. The freedom aspect is something to contemplate about. Like, if you want to be ultimately present and such, you can do that as well. But this episode is really about creativity. So then we also have to ground ourselves to. Uh, we have to keep in mind that the laws of the universe happen and exist, and how we operate on this planet as a species, we have to respect that. But I suggest to look at this more as a form of already present information and inspiration than as something to be held back by. So there's enough space for us to develop as humans, I'd say. I'd say we'd easily outgrow our potential of living on other planets, for example. We're already thinking of going to Mars. We're already cultivating other planets. We're already going to the moon and such. So I'd say we'll be able to conquer this resistance we experience from the universe, and we'll be able to exist indefinitely eventually as a human species, as long as we don't get met with like any super disastrous uh, events. But I think we'll be just fine. Okay, so I suggest doing something you love while practicing this exercise. I, for example, like watching streams on Twitch.tv, while at the same time laying relations in my mind between my friends and myself. So, while doing so, I like to interact with the identities I have in my mind through graphical styles and game mechanics that show on the stream. And this creates one of my type of styles. But feel free to do this anywhere as long as you're respectful with your resources. You should be just fine. The the point of spirituality is also kind of that you can do it anywhere and you can just sit anywhere and be creative with what kind of presence or consciousness you have in front of you. I just listened to some Leo Gura from actualize.org, and he also said like he can just sit and look at his hand and be in wonder and in awe about what is happening in front of his face with his hand, and about his computer, for example, in front of him. He can just watch and be in awe about it. Uh, but yeah, this episode is really about communication as well. So we have to learn to discern about getting drawn into the mind and being more extroverted to the outside world. So I'd say you can definitely notice a sort of psychic difference. Like if you get more intensely activated in your thought and you actually feel like communicating to the outside world, you will feel that your psyche will actually manifest itself around your body. You will actually feel like you're in some direct relation with what's happening outside yourself. And then as you calm down, you kind of relax again, you maybe go to sleep in the evening, you will feel that you will have to start up again the next morning and get your communicative and extroverted style going again. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share for today. Let's see if I know anything else. Oh, I've already shown on my stream and on some of my episodes, I don't remember which one it was, I have shown on my stream that I've managed to influence my phone with my thoughts, for example. So that's really evidence that you can actually achieve this sort of thing. I will show you another time. Let me see here. This is, for example, a clip of me manipulating my phone with my thoughts. This is non-edited content. This is like directly from my phone with a screen capture. So that's what's possible. And I've had a lot of other experiences too, but this is one of the most concrete and directly applied evidences of what's possible with spirituality. So I wonder what we can come up with, and I hope we can create some kind of a global communication throughout the community. And I'd say we should share our points of interest and our identities, our parts of our identities which we want to share, for example, and like resources we want to share, for example, mental resources, and just just share the mental resources. I'd say mental and psychic resources in the comments below, and have a good time with it. Like it's a great time to be alive, and we can really be sure of our freedom and creativity in the shortcut to freedom, which is to realize that the present form of life isn't so odd to have. So yeah, guys, that will be it for today. Hope you'll have some use. You'll make some use of this, and you'll actually start practicing this. And I'll talk to you next time. See ya.